what your thoughts are with the Frank Martin and Tank Davis fight.
I mean, I like the fight because they giving Frank an opportunity to be great. At the same time, it's gonna be a tough task because we know that Tank is on a higher level. You know what I mean? Skill wise, opportunity wise, when it comes to being on the big stage, Frank ain't seen that big stage just yet. But Frank is a durable guy. Yeah, Frank is a durable guy, sharp guy. You know what I'm saying? He take his time. He can box a little bit. He can bang. You know what I mean? But this is a tough order. I like the fight though.
Percentage wise,
I
how you
mean, it's
have
an 80-20. It's an 80-20 Tank.
that's wide. That's wide. Talk to me. Why you have it so wide?
I mean, it's 80-20 because we seen what Tank could do. We seen enough of Tank to know if you got him.
Hold
If you
on,
got
Hamza. Let him chop it up.
we seen enough of Tank where we know if you got him down on the cards, he can end up knocking you out. And we know he durable through 12 rounds. We seen Frank, but not in with a caliber like Tank. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so wide. You know what I mean? Frank is not a young man, but he's still young. He about 28, you know what I'm saying, almost 29, if he not 29. You know what I mean? And this is time, yes. But he's never been in there with a guy like, you know what I mean, Tank Davis in fight night. Sparring, yes, but not fight night.
Mm. Do you feel like that sparring that they had is kind of a reason why we get in the fight? Frank Martin did say that when they did, tussle in the Mayweather gym, that the Showtime whole crew was in the building.
Yeah. I mean, that could play a part because it's a little bit of a story there, and we know some of them. Sometimes on each fighter's side, they're gonna push the narrative of who was getting over and shit like that. But at the end of the day, that can only give you a little feel. I mean, a small percentage of what you feel in there because sparring is any day. You know what I'm saying? But a fight we've been prepared for. You know what I mean? We know who we fighting. We know everything. So you know what I mean? I'm expecting to see a lot out of both fighters, but I just don't Frank. I don't think Frank got enough to beat a Tank Davis.
Does Frank get stopped?
I think if Frank gets stopped, it's gonna be in between 8 and 10. Between 8 and 10.
Getting in the deep waters, yep.
Yeah, he gonna have to wear Tank gonna have to wear him out. I mean, can he catch him with a good shot and hurt him? Yeah, that could always happen. But I think Frank is better than that to get go in there and get caught. I mean, early and get knocked out. But I think he could get wore down mentally first and then physically, and then you know what I mean between 8 and 10.
Pros and
That chin insurance, is it going to be a topic? The chin insurance.
I mean, the chin always play a part. Always.
You know what I mean? Is Frank Martin has he been chin checked?
I mean, we seen him get hit a few times, but not by Tank Davis.
he seemed like in his last outing with Artem, he didn't feel too comfortable with some of those shots.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but he got past, he won, but I mean, you just never see. The thing is, you never know what's going through a guy's mind on fight night. You know what I mean, that's what plays the biggest part. Your mind. Are you there mentally? You know what I mean? And if you're not there mentally, then you can have an off night.
The nerves are going to kick in.
Now, peep game, tell me your analysis of the pros and cons to this fight for both fighters, and then hit me with the keys to victory.
I mean, the pros and cons for Frank. The fact that we haven't, the pros is we haven't seen enough of Frank, so we don't know what he can do entirely. You know what I mean? We don't know what he'll do under pressure. So he might sprout that night and come out there and you know what I mean, really do his thing. We don't know. But the cons is he hasn't been there. So with all the attention he's going to be receiving, you know what I'm saying, all the things that could get in the way, they definitely going to be getting in the way. It's going to be women hitting him up that he never talked to before. It's going to be reporters hitting him up he never talked to before. It's going to be sponsors coming out of nowhere wanting to sponsor him. It's going to be a lot of attention going on. So he got to just know how to stay away from all of that. Now for Tank, all Tank got to do is really be Tank. You know what I mean? We know he can box. To see Tank in there with a southpaw like Frank, that's the interesting part to me. They both southpaws. They both stocky. You know what I mean? They both got pretty good speed. Tank got great speed, but Tank got pretty. I mean, Frank got pretty good speed too. So it's interesting to see. I know that Frank is strong, but I'm interested to see if his power would give Frank. I mean, Tank the kind of trouble. Not saying that Frank is a big puncher, but I'm trying to see like, is his power gonna give him enough trouble where Tank respect him. You know what I'm saying? I want to know if Tank gonna respect him. If not, then he in a world of trouble. You know what I mean? And then keys to victory for Tank is to, go out there, stay sharp, be patient like you always do, and go ahead and land your shots. You know what I mean? For Frank Martin got to be damn near perfect. He got to have a beautiful jab working. He got to pick his spots when he want to fight. You know what I'm saying? When he want to bang and when he want to box. He got to be perfect. I ain't gonna lie. He got to be perfect.
Mm, mm. Um, Fellas, I want you guys to get your questions off as well and thoughts.
Greg, I wish I'd have spoke before Greg. I would have sounded smart. Nah, because he broke it down perfectly, man.
That's a good analysis.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I would just be repeating what he said, man. I think that that Frank has his athleticism. He has to box and he has to fight and he has to pick when he does it. He can't let Tank force him to do something he doesn't want to do. He has to control that. He has to take rounds. He can't give up too many rounds. He wants to put Tank in a position to where he can maybe convince Tank that Tank needs a knockout to win the fight. And I think Greg said something really great earlier too when he said that what did he say? He said what did he say? He just said something that was bro that I was really like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Frank is
He gonna have new girls that never called him before.
No, not that. No, something in the fight. The fact that Frank is gonna have to he's gonna have to his power. That's what it is. Frank is gonna have to get.
He's gonna have to be really perfect to win.
Right. Well, not that. Yes, that too. But we got to see if he can get the respect from Gervonta. He has to
Right.
make Gervonta be like, all right,
can't get that with night.
I don't want to get hit all night like that. So make Tank think as much as you can make him think, and take rounds. You know what I mean? Take rounds. Take rounds. Don't go in there trying to overpressure him, trying to knock him out, or trying to like show. Don't do that. Take your rounds. Win it one round at a time. You know what I mean? And listen to your coach.
So Greg, right? My question to you is this fight coming on, right? We got Frank and we got Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, we hear a lot of stigma upon Gervonta Tank Davis hasn't fought anybody darker than him. He hasn't fought a guy that's not flat footed. Is this fight for you? Does this check the dot the I's, cross the T's? Like, what does this fight in your eyes look like?
I mean, when you look at his record, it do make you wonder. When people brought that up, it did make me go, damn, you know what? I haven't seen him in there with another boxer that can bang, that can punch, that, with good speed, with reflexes, you know what I'm saying, agility, ability, you know what I mean? But that's not saying Spanish fighters or whoever he's been fighting doesn't have it. What it is, they've been putting guys in front of him that's going to end up in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Guys that he's going to be able to put his hands on. Now, Frank, to me, isn't the slickest guy. So it's not like it's a Shakur or something like that. But it is a guy who can kind of match his rhythm a little bit. You know what I mean? Who can read his rhythm a little bit. You know what I mean? If you've never been to a cookout, you won't understand. If you ain't never been to a dollar party, you won't understand. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. So it is interesting to see him and Frank Martin.
Do you think that is this a better intriguing fight than the Shakur and Frank versus the Tank? Were you able to
Huh?
hear that? Is this more of an intriguing fight as far as Frank Martin versus Tank versus Frank Martin versus Shakur, which was supposed to happen? And I think this is the reason why that Frank decided not to take the Shakur fight. Won't you agree?
Whenever you got a big puncher, it's always going to be intriguing because what happens with the big punchers is they always go out bad when they go out. And I'm not saying this is Tank's time to go out, but it's always intriguing because We know he can punch. We know he'll knock you out. But what happens when he can't? You know what I mean? What happens when the punch isn't as effective? So it's always interesting when you get a puncher. And has an interesting style, but can be boring at times. You know what I mean? Guys don't want to see that. We want to see somebody get put out. So to see Tank and Frank in there, yeah, it's always going to be interesting.
Facts, fellas.
They don't like sensitive like that in the pros, man. They don't like them educated boxers like that.